Okay, Keyshawn Johnson here with us now in studio. 266 penalties, basically. I mean, most penalized team in the league last year. You have your first preseason game, and you got 17 for 179 yards, and he says, hey, it's just the preseason.
It is just the preseason, but that's a lack of focus, and that falls on the head coach, the defense and offensive coordinator, and special teams coaches. They've got to do a better job at getting their guys to dial in and stay focused, whatever it may be. I don't give a damn if it's a concentration drill. It's got to be something, because you cannot afford to take these type of situations into the regular season and yet and still, if you want to go into the postseason, Swagoo, and do this. We know that penalties will hurt you tremendously. They got 129 yards of hidden yards, essentially. That's about 10 points that they've given the other team. And that's why you wind up, talking about the Dallas Cowboys at the beginning of the season and not at the end.
I just, to your point, Key, my issue is with Mike McCarthy response, because we understand it's a preseason game.
Yes.
But it's a continuation of what we talked about all last year.
Absolutely.
So for you to have not only your evaluations after last season ended, you got you know how we do in the offseason. You go through every play. You figure out what you're doing, what not to do, what situations not to put guys in so that may cause penalties. And then you go into preseason practice, OTAs, training camp, and you get to your first showing and you reverberate everything that transpired from last year that we went crazy about. That's my issue with his response, because there's not enough energy towards the problem that's been happening.
I don't think I've ever played on a team that has 17 penalties. Wow. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost sure, just I was going through my head, based on the coaches that I had in my career, especially like Bill Parcells and Tony Dungy, that wasn't going to happen. 17 penalties? That's not going to happen. We would still be running if it was Bill.
Oh, absolutely.
Man, we'd still be running right now.
We'd be in the stadium.
And we were all in Dallas at that time. Absolutely. We know how that is. We talked about this in the last hour. They went and got Tyler Smith in the first round to try to address that.
Yes.
Now, at Tulsa, he had 16 penalties last year, 12 of them holding penalties. He had 2 of them in the first preseason game. So what is your level of concern that this will be an issue for the Cowboys this regular season?
Well, bullshit call on that one.
But he's just got to learn to trust his feet. A lot of times when guys get into holding situations, it's because they don't trust something. And I think a lot of times with offensive linemen, in particular, because I blocked a lot when I played, if I didn't trust my feet, I used my hands to grab. But if I got my feet, I can move the way I need to, and I think that they've got to address that with him, or else they're going to wind up, again, in a situation, whether it's the regular season or the postseason, where it's going to eventually catch up to him and cost him.
What about Mike McCarthy talking about this season? You already said going into the season he's going to be on a hot seat.
Yeah.
If we continue to have this penalty issue in Dallas, boy, that seat going to be real warm early.
Key was with Bill Parcells, and we kind of come from the same school. I learned under Key and veteran guys with Bill Parcells when I got to Dallas. We understand the player's role in penalties. Like, we're not just dismissing the fact that they have to do a better job on the field.
Yeah.
But ultimately, when you get to week 3 and 4 and you continue to see the same things, something is not being addressed. Either you need to replace this dude, or you're not coaching it the way it's supposed to be coached. I've watched preseason practices. I've watched training camp
practices. We talking about practice?
Key, they got DBs in practice now wearing boxing gloves to stop them from holding against wide receivers. Whatever you need to implement, to try to get this rectified. But this has now become a Mike McCarthy issue. This ain't about the preseason game. Look at, it's on the screen, 266 penalties in the last 2 years, and people gonna come on television. I know we're gonna have some people come on television. Cowboys can go to the Super Bowl. No, the hell they can't. And I keep telling people that. I love the Dallas Cowboys, my favorite team, love them. You ain't going to a Super Bowl with the issues that we've continued to see occur with this football team. You're not.
You got to cut somebody, though. You just got to find them and cut.
Make an example, man.
You got to find them, whoever it is that people don't expect to get cut, you got to cut him and wake everybody else up. That's what you got to do. I'm just telling you.
That's the Bill Parcells.
You got to cut him. Like, can you believe they cut? Yep. Yeah, they cut him.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's head out to New York, where the Jets.
All right. Good evening, good people. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So we're already open for business. Damn, I never turned stuff off from before. We've been open all day long. Hope you guys are having a great Monday. Hope everybody is over this first preseason game. We have been dissected. We have been left on the road for dead. We have been killed. Mike McCarthy needs to be fired today, according to most of the talking heads and stuff out there. But guys, we talking about a practice game, not a real game, not a game that your starters actually played, not that your quarterback played, not that your starting tackles played, not that your all-world Micah Parsons or Trayvon Diggs played. We talking about practice squad players in a practice game, not the real game that we live and die for 17 weeks of the season. We talking about a practice game. Seriously, we talking about a practice game. Okay. All right. Everybody, have you got finished with your bitch fest? Everybody's been pissed off and everything else. And you know what's funny? And I don't mean to throw my man Randy and Brian under the bus, but I'm going to throw you under the bus right now. Because when you first sent it to me, I was like, oh my God, let's fire his ass. And let me read the tweet to you or the message that he sent me. Shout out to you guys for doing the research on it, because I looked at this and I was like, wow. And this is kind of where you get part of the picture or taking things out of context. Okay, so let me see. Hey, check this stat out. The Packers under Mike McCarthy from 2007, 2008, 2009, 3 years, they had 343 penalties and averaged 114 penalties each of those years. And I said, it sounds interesting. I was like, damn. So 2006, Mike McCarthy's first year as a Packers head coach, they were the most penalized team in the NFL. In a Monday night game that year, they had 18. And now, right now, my blood is just like, oh, man, Mike McCarthy, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm like, this is the worst thing in the world. 2006, they were fourth most in penalties. 2007, they were second. 2008, they were the most penalized team. And everybody's like, you see a trend here? And I was like, damn. And it's like, yeah, we need to fix this now. So you start looking at that, and then you start saying, damn, Mike McCarthy. But then I dug a little bit deeper. Like I said, Randy, I'm sorry. Brian, I'm sorry. Let me grab my sheet, because I was sitting here going through. I was like, damn, if it was that bad to start, what was it like the rest of the years? Hold on. This is broadcast media. This is broadcast media here. But see, I went through and I started following the numbers, okay? So in 2010, they got a little bit better. They went to 11. They only had 96. 2000, and they were 11th in penalties. 2018, they were 17th, 108. I'm sorry, I'm going the wrong way. 2010, they had 78. So they went from like 114 to 78, 76 in 2011, 103 in 2012, 86, 92. So the first 3 years were butt ugly for penalties from them. But after that, they were 29th, 31st, 12th, 24th, 25th, 17th, 25th, 26th, and 17th. And then 2020, we were 11th. So you could run with that and say Mike McCarthy had some of the most penalized teams in football. Yeah, but then he had some of the least penalized ones for, 12 of the years that he was there. So there's not necessarily a trend there. And also, too, unfortunately, you can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you are known as somebody who gets in trouble, for example, think about Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant, everybody looked at and said, oh, he's a thug. So you didn't get the benefit of the doubt. So when somebody said, oh, the police were called to Dez Bryant's house 6 times, you're thinking, you got Miami Vice out there with the SWAT team coming to his house. But one of the times, somebody got the baby was locked in the car, and they needed help to get the baby unstuck. Another time, it was the wrong address for somebody else. But the thing is you get known as a reputation. So unfortunately, one, we had the same staff that was refereeing us against the 49ers. The same ones that called 14 penalties on us, okay? And I've never seen a penalty for tackling by a defensive lineman, where we got on Randy Gregory, where he tackled the offensive lineman, although I guess it's legit, but still, I've never seen that before. But be that as it may. You got that same crew that seemed like they had a vendetta against us in that other game. And you also then have guys that, of course, now you hear, well, the Cowboys are always making flags. So now you're going to be more cognizant in the back of your head. You're going to be saying, well, I don't want to be the one that didn't call any penalties on the Cowboys. There must be something wrong with me, right? You understand? Oh, actually, shit. I forgot to change the camera angle. Duh. Sorry, I'm sitting here thinking I'm talking to you guys from here. Okay. I just can't get the right boss. Sorry. I'm on all kinds of cold meds and stuff. Okay. Forgive me. All right. So I came over here because I was getting my notepad to get my notes. Okay. James Snyder said it's his girlfriend's birthday. Happy birthday to her. Happy birthday to her. Happy birthday. What's on CFT's channel? Where's Mark? Guys, I'm sorry. I was sitting over here because I had my notes over here. Okay? All right? Jeez. Anyway, hope Michael is doing. Michael is good. Michael is at the beach having a good time with his fiancee, Gina. And I'm here sick as a dog. But I am feeling a bit better. My throat's not quite as sore. It's kind of evolving now into my chest a little bit. But it's doing good. Now, I'm going to go back over there, and hopefully I'll remember to change the camera. How about that one? So, I tell you what, while I'm going back over there, how about we do this? Let's have fun, because this is always for a good laugh.
Open throw! Hurts to pass, throws, pick. Horrible pass. Oh my God. Stupid throw! Son of a bitch! What a bad throw! Stupid throw! Hurts to pass.
All right, there. I remember to turn the camera on the right side this time. Got it right this time. Okay, all right, we're cool. Okay, so we know we had a lot of penalties in that game. However, some of those guys are not going to be playing much for the team, okay? Listen, that was just a practice game, guys. Practice game. Not the real game. Not the real game that we love. That was a practice game, okay? They will get better than that, okay? And some of those were bullshit. I'm sorry. Tyler Smith was drive blocking a guy into the ground. I don't know how you call a hold when you are literally got the guy on skates going down to the ground. But, that's the kind of world that we live in. The thing that was lost, there's a couple things that were lost in that game. And when I look back at it and things, I haven't done as many videos as everybody else has. But one of the things that not too many people have talked about, and let me make West Coast happy, okay? Shout out to, let me put my West Coast Cowboys hat on here, okay? Which is run the damn ball, okay? When y'all can tell West Coast that I put on his hat, run the damn ball. So the Cowboys were actually, surprisingly, without Zeke, without Tony Pollard, very, very effective running the football. We actually rushed for 129 yards. I think the worst person running was averaging 4 yards a carry. So from the standpoint of saying, okay, we had a lot of backup offensive linemen that were playing, okay, but they were actually able to run the football. Now, the second thing, and I don't want to dirty up the hat because my hair might be greasy, so I don't want to mess up my hat I got from West Coast, because probably won't see West Coast till like next year training camp. So I won't be able to get another one till then. But we were actually able to run the football well. Okay? This is key. Jake Ferguson actually got out there, is over the hamstring issue, and actually played really well too. And you're saying, okay, big deal. So it's, second tight end. Yeah, this is going to be key because it's going to help us to run the ball better with an offensive line that might be shaky. Now, I was talking with Dak's uncle earlier today, and him and I are on kind of the same page. I'm still trying to understand why it is that the Cowboys are afraid to spend any money in a couple of areas. I understand. I get it that Stephen Jones, Cap Boy, wants to make sure they have plenty of money. They don't want to make any crazy contracts because they've made mistakes before, with like, say, Jalen Smith's contract and stuff, right? I get that. I get it that you don't want to go ahead and do dumb contracts. Okay, fine. So Dalton Schultz, 1 year, franchise tag. If he has a great year, which I think he's going to, you're going to have to pay the man. Go ahead and pay him, okay? Tight ends usually don't get injured, like, say, linebackers and things like that, or running backs. Go ahead and pay the man next year. That's fine. If you want to go ahead and say, we're not sure about paying big money to Cedric Wilson when we have younger guys on the roster that might be similar, okay, I get that. But here's where I looked at this and say, you've invested a hell of a lot of money in your quarterback. And why not have an insurance policy? There's Lloyd's of London where you go ahead, players insure their body that if they have a catastrophic injury, they're going to at least get compensation for being out of football. Well, why don't you guys have a Lloyd's of London's type policy in having a swing tackle that a guy that's really good enough to be a starter? I'm not talking about going out and getting Deebo Samuels and saying, it's going to cost us $27 million to get that weapon. I'm talking about $6 or $7 million to say, I'm going to get a quality offensive lineman to be an insurance policy. This makes no sense whatsoever to me. We see that we are razor thin. Josh Ball may become a great football player. I don't know. We looked at Terrence Steele where he was after his rookie year, and he made major improvements in his second year. But when you're talking about the quarterback's blind side, you're talking about $40 million. Are you really ready to go ahead and put a guy out there that's never started? Because that will be when he gets his first start, is if Tyron Smith goes out, which will be a shock. Josh Ball, you're up, and you can guarantee you that any defensive coordinator that knows that now I've got a rookie playing his first game on the blind side, they're going to overload that side and make sure that they come right after your quarterback. And I'm just kind of like, why are they so stubborn with the money that they have? I mean, here's where the salary cap is right now. The Browns, I'm still amazed that have, $48 million with the money that's going to go to Deshaun Watson, although that may be getting kicked down to next year. The Raiders with 22, and we're sitting there at third with 21. We got the third most amount of cap space, but we won't spend a dime to go ahead and say, let's make sure we take care of business here. I'm mystified on that. We at least did that with linebacker, and they got, I think, a good deal with Anthony Barr. But when it comes to certain things, you can't skimp. You can't go out and buy a Ferrari and put on, Walmart tires on the Ferrari and think it's going to perform. It's not. You got to go ahead and do that. Malik Davis looked good. East Camden for life. How you doing? There's I'm sorry, ladies. There's Gina Thorne. What's up, Gina? I've got all these cold meds and stuff in here. I'm like missing things. I'm truly missing things. I saw Miss Hot Sauce. What's up, Lola? I'm burning for you. And I bet you Stacy Schubert said, there's Sheila. Oh, Sheila. What's up, Sheila? I know Roland's reviews in here. Sorry, I'm choking. Woo! Sorry, I am choking this much. Is Michael Anthony about to move with damn Gina? Are you telling me that he hasn't? It seems that way at the moment. I know. I'm actually very, very happy for them. They are very happy together. There's nothing like young love, There's really nothing like it. I'm excited for them. and they're having a ball with a little end of summer vacation. So, vacation's all I ever wanted. Who's the number 32? He was toting the rock. Was that Rico Dowdle? Mike Thompson. What's up, Mike? How are you doing? Thank you very much, Lola. I'm not the only person that's lost people recently, and we still don't know what happened to my nephew, Marcus. My brother is definitely brother and his wife are definitely devastated, and just goes to show you how precious life is and how important it is to make sure you enjoy each and every day, and don't spend your time hating so much. I get sick and tired of people that always want to come in and just tell you your ass and this, that. And Joanne Gonzalez, what's up, JoJo? Because life is precious and life is short, and that's why you got to do everything you can to make the most of every day. Jerry, are you listening to that? You got to make the most of every day and every season. Catboy sucks, and Mike Fisher keeps trying to cover for him and the front office. Preacher 88, so explain that one to me. I haven't watched too much of Mike lately, but that's partially their job. You got to understand that if you go too hard against the Joneses family, you're not going to have the same access. So you have to be team friendly to be one of the team media people. That's why, when we're at training camp, you kind of get a scratch and sniff of some of the stuff that's going on, but you don't always get the whole picture, and things are kind of shaded towards the team. So you think about when something happens with the player, the media is all over that. Oh, the player did this, that, and the other, and all this stuff. And then, when Jerry Jones has, a lawsuit against him about being an illegitimate child, it's like, oh, well, they deserve privacy. And it's like, wait a minute, you didn't say that about other people, the players. You didn't say they deserve privacy, but, I can't be mad at them. Love you, brother. How about them Cowboys? Dre Day, thank you very much. Mike Fisher tried to attack David Hausman for saying exactly what he said. Dak is not being given what he needs to win. And at first, when I first saw that, I was kind of going the other direction. I honestly did. I kind of said, well, here's the way I looked at the situation differently than David, and I had a chance to start thinking about it, and then it started making more sense, his point of view. Because one thing that happens is when people are no longer working directly for the Cowboys, when they go to ESPN and Fox Sports 1, it's kind of like being the coach of your kid on a little league team. You have to be harder on your own child because you don't want to look like you're playing favoritism. So you kind of look and see former Cowboy players are harder on the Cowboys than they are on other teams because, again, they can't look like they have a bias. I get that. But I was looking at this as so much of getting rid of Amari Cooper might have been that the Cowboys were looking at making a change. And the change is they were trying to evolve back into, instead of being a 3 wide out, throw the ball down the field all the time, they were trying to get back into a more ball controlled offense where you're using Tony Pollard as a wide receiver / running back, where you're using 2 tight end personnel, where you are trying to change the emphasis. Because to me, when you've got, and I looked at, this is, again, I don't work for the Cowboys, okay? I'm a Monday morning quarterback like everybody else. But I actually looked back when we got Michael Gallup back last year. It seemed like we had so many different guys in here. It was kind of like, oh, we got to get Michael involved. We got to get 3 wide receivers in here. Oh, we got Noah Brown in here. We got Cedric Wilson. And it was kind of like we had to go ahead and get this guy, that guy, and everything else. And there ended up being no cohesion, that we almost had too many receivers. And so my thinking was the Cowboys were looking and saying, listen, we're going to have CD, who became the favorite target of Dak. We'll eventually get Michael Gallup back. We'll get a Jalen Tolbert in there, or we'll get a James Washington. We'll do a lot more 2 wide receiver sets. And then we could take the money that we have from Amari Cooper, who, there's a dynamic there that they were pissed off about. We'll get rid of that. And as far as Cedric Wilson goes, they'll say, maybe Cedric Wilson was actually made because of what Dak could do with him with the ball. and we have Cedric Wilson type guys on there. That's the way I kind of looked at it from that standpoint. And as far as Lyle Collins, he's still on the PUP list. He's still on the PUP list. They hope that he'll be ready for week 1, but he's still on the PUP list. And we sit here 23 days, 22 hours, 49 minutes away from the season kickoff, and he hasn't been able to do a single practice. And I can't look and say Connor Williams was a great offensive lineman. So from that standpoint, I don't know that they necessarily went out there to try and screw him. But then you start thinking about the Eagles. Well, the Eagles go out and say, we go ahead and get a better wide receiver. They got rid of Ortega-Whiteside. Ragar is going to probably be gone next. And they try to improve their situation. You look at the Miami Dolphins that go out and get Tyreek Hill. That you look at other teams and it's like, yeah, let's get more weapons for our guy. Let's get more weapons. Let's get a better offensive line. The Bengals tried to get a better offensive line for Joe Burrow, although it hasn't worked out that way so far. It looks like they're kind of in a mess. So David Hausman does have a point about saying that, from the outside looking in, it doesn't look like the Cowboys have done a lot to try and help Dak Prescott. Not in the same way it looks like they've done to help Micah Parsons on the defense. Now, we're not privy to the mind that is with the Dallas Cowboys. How many people going into last year thought that Cedric Wilson was going to have the season that he was going to have? How many people thought Tony Pollard was going to become a great weapon? Those were things that we didn't anticipate, but apparently the Cowboys hierarchy said, you know what, Tony Pollard is going to be good as a second back for us, and he's going to be able to do great things. That Cedric Wilson is going to be okay filling in the gap. And these are things, sorry, don't mean to cough into the mic, guys. These are things that the team knows because this is the kind of guys they put in there. So it may be that they have faith in the guys that we have. I'll be honest. I think Jalen Tolbert and Dak have a great connection right now. And looking at Houston is surprising a lot of people that you may end up looking at these guys and saying, okay, we've done good. And in the same breath, we'll sit here and look at guys like Sam Williams. I saw Sam Williams being able to make some great moves here on Sunday that, may make you forget about Randy Gregory. Now, we'll see how all of that goes. Mike McCarthy's press conference today, well, if you want to see some of it, it played just before I went on, and I was actually going to play some of it. But we can actually listen to that while I drink some cold water to let my voice heal. So let's see what our fearless leader actually had to say.
How are you? Tomorrow. Okay. David?
Mike, David Moore, Dallas Morning News. After
he's got the giggles after that game.
Scrimmage and the game. When you look back on that, do you alter anything in what you want to do going forward this week, or are those strictly individual teaching moments where you work with the players? That's where you are after there and change anything, or is it all just about individual players?
Well, I mean, you always assess where you are, because I think it's just like anything. This is a process of training camp. You're in a mode leading all the way up to the first preseason game, and this, just like today, we treated today just no different than we treat a Monday after a Sunday game, because it's the first time. You got to remember, it's the first time, the rookies are going through this. What's the evaluation process look like? We're having the walkthrough that's going on right now. So, yeah, every moment's a teaching moment. But the assessment of, you talking about who's playing moving forward, or how you
based on where you are coming out of the first preseason game in that scrimmage, do you emphasize something more this week than you would have otherwise? Or
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. We're in corrective mode. That's you're in that mode after every practice, but now you got live reps. We had 80 plays on offense. It's that's incredible. That's a lot of video. 71 on defense. So, just like anything, you go through. We call it the Cowboy 6, all the fundamentals and all the techniques, the pros and the cons, and what we can build on. Obviously, the penalties was a big topic today in the correction period time together.
It would want to be.
You go through those, and show everybody exactly how they're broken down. The emphasis, moving forward, and and that, just like anything, you always tilt your practice structure and what you're getting done on a weekly basis to what you want to improve on. And frankly, I mean that's what we're doing right now. But we start tomorrow. Our walkthrough and our work tomorrow morning will be getting ready for Charger week. I mean we got a lot of work coming up with the Chargers. Wednesday, Thursday, 2 big practices, and then a game Saturday. But yeah, I mean we're kind of in a post Sunday evaluation mode. I mean it was the first time the coaches had to really go through, and we have a grading analysis that we're trying to improve on from last year, and we're always trying to be better as teachers. I'm trying to be better teacher, and but yeah, you're always emphasizing, correcting, and the tweaking your plan to move forward.
Star Telegram. 2 things. Any injuries that came up after the game, and will guys like Will Gray and Curse, are they cleared to come back and play?
I'm hopeful Will be back for Wednesday. I know he did a little more. He's making progress. But that hasn't been determined yet. I don't see J-Ron participating this week. Tyron will. I see him going Wednesday.
Okay, one other thing. The scrimmage or the workouts with the Chargers, will it be situated the same as what you did with Denver, or be set up different?
It'll be a little different. I mean, it's still situationally emphasized. As far as the rep distribution will be similar. I mean, we want to work the first group as much as we can Wednesday and Thursday.
Mike McGelkin, Dallas Morning News. Given the importance of building chemistry on your offensive line, are you reaching a point soon or even now where you want to decide who your starting left guard is to allow that unit to further gel?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, there's always a point in camp when this comes up, and but I think it's just like anything. I mean, Tyron has been getting the work in. You're looking for continuity, and you do have some flexibility that will affect some personnel groups. So, without getting into specifics, so that's part of that. So, but yeah, we'll keep working. Our rotation will be similar to last week.
David Hellman, Fox Sports. Off of that, having
that
watched
sounds
back
funny. Fox Sports.
Tyler Smith, what did you think overall?
Oh, I thought Tyler did a lot of really good things. It's just like anything in this game. I mean, you talk about being physical. You talk about playing. Have a play style. He's definitely.
You're right on that, Lola.
To the table.
Give me a coach with a backbone.
But it's just like anything. His mistakes were more. Technical, the finish component of it. I think for young linemen, when your feet are beat and how you react to that, that's part of it. So
Tell me not
I would say just the second and third reaction components of technique will be a focus for him moving forward. But I think mentally was sound. I thought it was a lot of good snaps to learn from in his first time out there live.
Dallas Morning News. How did your running backs look after watching the tape today?
I really like the way the running backs played. I think really as a whole, we talked about it right after the game, but it held up in the evaluation. I thought the way we ran the ball and stopped the run was a target we were trying to hit. And I thought our 2 young running backs, because it's the first time we got to see them live, and I thought they both did some really, really good things. I think just like anything, your coursework and really the tempo of accelerating the crease as the crease is opening, as opposed to waiting and seeing. So we could. Those are all things those are normal things you want to be better at when you get into it. But I thought Rico did some really good. First time he played in quite some time, so it was good to get him out there. And we had some broken tackles. We weren't 10 plus, but Turpin had a huge day on special teams as far as broken tackles. And I think really tackling as a whole, as a fundamental, we were plus double digits as far as, missed tackles compared to broken tackles. Anytime you're double digits as a team, that's a good day. So I don't know if I've ever recall only having 2 missed tackles in the first preseason game. So, like I said, there's a lot of positive components of the game that we can build off of, but obviously I think really the negative plays are the ones you learn the most from.
Yeah, I'd love to have Mike Tomlin, but you ain't getting him from the Steelers. He'd never come here.
Minus techniques component, because I thought our players as a whole did a very good job of pushing the envelope as far as play style and getting that established, because you have to get that established in these preseason games, and with that, you got to keep focused on the discipline of it.
NBC5 Dallas. Mike, these practices against the Chargers, last week against the Broncos, do you sense that kind of helps with the grind of camp, helping players to new, fresh, not just practicing against someone else, but also picking up and going somewhere else? Do you sense that at all?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think that's a variable. I know.
Porter Rock, what's up, man?
You can see, you can almost put a clock to it. When you get up to the install number 6, 7, and 8, it starts to get edgy. In my history of install practices, 7 and 8 are a little different, because you got some auxiliaries in there. You got some, certain things that you don't do in a normal install. So, defense has got some exotics too. So the frustration gets a little higher. But to me, that's been like that my whole time in the league. So I think there's definitely, I think it's human nature. You've been practicing against a guy for 2 weeks. Only 1 week in pads, but you've been practicing against a guy in 2 weeks. And, it's time to move on to another opponent. So I definitely do think it helps.
DallasCowboys.com. Can you talk about Sam Williams' game, and also what is the teaching moment or lesson you can talk to him about with that penalty? Is there something you can say? How do you
definitely. I thought Sam got up to a really good start.
Sam was great.
He's impactful. I mean, you can see his close, particularly, even on that play. And I think where Sam, just the fact that the action of, because he slightly ducked his head, and came, because he was on the rise. So. And that's a great teaching point right there. It's just, there are indicators that officials are looking for. So, whether you hit them helmet to helmet or not, but the fact that the helmet went down and then came up, so I mean that's a really good illustration of how you take those moments, teach, and learn from it.
The operation on the missed 56-yard field goal. What did you see, and can you discuss the plans ahead at that kicker competition?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously,
not much kicking going on in that game.
The double catcher on the hold, but the first off, I think we'll continue to go the way we did. I'd like to see both Laram and Brett compete. Kick for kick. I think that's the fairest way to do it. I've done it by quarter and things like that in the past, but we do want to keep this as balanced as possible. We'll kick in practice on Thursday down there with the Chargers. They'll both get equal opportunities there, and then they're scheduled to get equal opportunities in the game Saturday.
Mike, what did you think of Ferguson's play in that game?
Oh, I love the way he played. I love his play style, and I thought he, just everything we thought he did. He, did some good things on special teams. So I thought he had a very solid night for his first time out. Same with Peyton too. I thought both young tight ends did some really nice things.
12 personnel, everybody.
Cowboys Radio. Josh Ball got extensive action. How did he look?
I thought Josh, the quality of work, is definitely things that he'll definitely grow from. You think about the players that he's had a chance to compete against Thursday and Saturday, has been great for him. It's exactly what he needs. I mean, he missed the whole year. I mean, it's really his, that was his first start, or his first live game action as a Dallas Cowboy. So and he'll be so much better from it. There's a lot there to learn from, but I think the fact that the number of reps, because he wasn't scheduled to take that many reps Thursday, and the fact that he got, I'll be honest, I was a little worried about his workload, practicing that much, but shoot, he didn't blink. He'll definitely be better moving forward from it.
How closely you monitor workloads and snap counts? What's the challenge of, kind of seems like you have guys that are on different schedules with guys that practice Thursday versus guys that played a lot on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of it. And that's, it's just like anything. I mean, you're trying to, reduce the risk as best you can. And, but, more importantly, you have to make sure you're giving players the opportunity to be on the 53 and, and also, I've always felt you just got to develop that whole roster. So, but yeah, it's a bit of a challenge. But our numbers have been so far so good. As far as injuries, so we haven't been stressed yet.
Got it.
As far as Anthony Barr goes, you guys having a 2+1 against the Chargers. Is this a week you try to at least get him in, maybe one of those
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I see Anthony. We're going to try to work him in this week. You know exactly how the reps will sort out, but we're definitely moving towards that. So my hope is to at least get him on the field for on Wednesday.
There are two cornerbacks. Can you talk about their play from the game?
Which one?
Just to start the two second-year guys.
You don't know their
Kevin
names?
Joseph, not Sean Wright.
Help him out, David, please. I mean,
come on, man.
Second-year guys. All right, so
Kevin Joseph was ass.
No, I thought Nashawn, I thought he had some real competitive situations. I think clearly, you look at someone that's made the second-year jump. He's definitely, in my mind, in that category. You look what he's done physically. He had obviously the two, they were good throws, two competitive throws, and I think he'll definitely. It's another great example of learning from the techniques. With his length and so forth, going up and not under there is, as far as tracking the ball, because Nashawn has excellent ball skills. I mean, you can see that. I mean, that was something that I know I was very, very excited about. Watching the Oregon State tape, that
he's an instrument.
Go up and high point the ball. So I think those are two plays you'll look for him to learn from, because he does play with instincts and so forth. But you do have to give the other side some credit. They're good throws and catches. So it's physicality, hand placement, all those things. I mean, he plays on the edge, so he plays the right way. He's just got to clean that up. Kelvin, I thought was solid. He's has tremendous ability. But I think it was more of a first game for him, both on defense and special teams.
Seemed to be pretty active on Saturday.
Yeah.
What did you make of his performance, and more broadly about what you've seen from him in camp thus far?
I really like the way Q played Saturday night. Quentin, I think clearly the step that he made, a couple steps, frankly. I mean, I thought the way he attacked the double teams was as good as I've seen him do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think you're seeing a guy that's really starting to make a move in the area of pass rush, because and not just the transition pass rush on first and second down. So I thought Q definitely took a big step against Denver.
Has gotten better, and how difficult is it for a guy?
I'm sorry, Michael. What was the first part?
Has his pad height improved in his second year, and how difficult is it for a guy his size to create leverage in that respect?
I think all linemen go through that, particularly if you're inside or outside, get moved inside. I think that's a natural progression for linemen, just the ability to play with bend. And, Quentin's very athletic, and that's something that you can see in Kentucky. I mean, if you ever see him on a basketball court, he can really move and bend. So just the fact that
he was really high last year.
Consistency with that, with his pad level, I think that's definitely part of his improvement.
How much for the young guys does this matter? The practices against the Chargers, the preseason games. Does it click for some guys right away? Is that an indicator of what you can expect?
It really matters.
Later in the season, how much does it matter?
Oh no, it definitely matters. Just going back to what I talked about earlier. I mean, we had Thursday we had 80 plays, and then had another 80 on offense Saturday night. 71 on defense, but
that's real.
That's 180 plays of pretty. I know Thursday wasn't live, but it's about as close as you can get to it. So, that's 160 snaps in week one of the preseason. I've never seen young players get that many opportunities. So,
and they're going to need all of it.
Ball and Collins got a lot of work. How would you assess how they?
And
I really like what they gave us because the volume the volume of opportunities that they had. But yeah, definitely. I mean, there's going to be fundamentals and techniques, and because let's be honest, either one of those guys have played this much, in the NFL. So it's a great opportunity for both those guys, and they got excellent tape to learn from.
Kyle Yeomans, DallasCowboys.com. How much did Terrence Steele kind of grow last week with the opportunities that he had?
Terrence Steele. I tell you, I mean, you just got to be so impressed with Terrence. Just what he does. Coming off the off season. I mean, two years in a row, he's had a tremendous off season. You can see the improvement, in the weight room and his play style and his toughness. I think.
Wow. You
Terrence
feel sorry for Mike
McCarthy.
That
has a chance of being an anchor over there at the right tackle for us for a long time.
Mike, Rob Phillips, DallasCowboys.com. Back on the kickers real quick. You had a 4th and short in the first half that you went for. How much consideration was it going for a kick there, settling for a field goal, and how do you balance that evaluation with other situations you want to work in the game?
Yeah, definitely. I think just the ebb and flow of the game, trying to give the offense an opportunity there was part of it. I mean, I wasn't sitting there playing the 35-yard line as the as the field goal range. Actually, was deeper than that. Being up in Denver, I think it was 40 going south and 45 going south, 45 south, 40 north. If I recall exactly. With that, so yeah, that was not a reflection of the field goal guys. It was more about giving the offense the chance to just continue to drive.
Finish with David. Like you mentioned earlier about only 2 missed tackles in that game defensively.
Yeah.
Is that just an extension of what you've seen the defense do out here since camp started?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, tackling is one of the 3 primary fundamentals. I mean, we obviously work it every day, and your footwork and your approach are so important to it. So when you watch the tracking drills, that's why we start with team fundamental every day, and we're always highlighting. We call it the Cowboys 6, as we've talked about here, time and time again. So I think it's exciting when you see carryover from the practice field to the game field. But I think it's just a credit to our players and how they work the drills, and because at the end of the day, that was really the first live tackling opportunity they had. So, because up until that point, it was just more, footwork, approach, long stride, short stride, all those, little coaching details that go into tackling. And, as far as the approach and then the strike and the wrap, and, I thought the guys did a nice job, especially for the first time as a football team. Special team.
That was the end of Mike McCarthy's. Wait. No, you don't have to. Soft gentleman, please. By all means, don't delete his comments, okay? Clown organization. Soft gentleman, he's a Giant fan. Giants, I hate to tell you, buddy, you got more losses than the Jets since 2016. Your only call to glory against the Cowboys was basically beating us twice in 2016. That was it. Since that time, you ain't done jack crap, dude. Come on, man. The fact that you call yourself soft gentleman, ain't no woman want no soft gentleman. Come on, man. Okay, man. Oh, Lordy. All right, so Mike McCarthy, I don't know if he was watching the same game we were, because he sure sounded like everything was hunky-dory in it. Somebody asked, when are we getting a backup quarterback? Well, I will say that Will Grier probably moved up the depth chart by not playing and not being Cooper Rush more than anything else. I think Will Grier, everybody's like, man, when's that guy coming back? Because Cooper Rush was really, really not good in that game. I mean, everybody is going gaga over the performance of Ben DiNucci, but I love Ben DiNucci, JMU Duke. He's my guy and all that, but if we got to get down to Ben DiNucci anytime soon, well, we're in trouble. Maybe he'll become the next Tony Romo, in a couple more years and things, but he's not ready for that. But definitely Will Grier actually looked better when I was out in training camp than Cooper Rush did. He looked like he had more velocity on the football. His ball placement was better and things. But let's be clear about something here. The season hinges all on Dak Prescott's arm. That and the defense. Let's be clear. If we lose Dak for any extended league amount of time, the season's over. And as far as backup quarterbacks, if a quarterback's any good, they're going to be a starter. And, I mean, we can go out and get Cam Newton. I've heard people say, let's go out and get RG3. Even though RG3, the last time he played was a couple of years ago in Baltimore when he got a chance, he just kept getting injured. There's just not that many quarterbacks out there. So to me, the thing you got to do is do everything you can to make sure you keep your guy upright. And to me, that's spending a little bit of money on a swing tackle to make sure your offensive line is good. Now, Mike McCarthy says, Josh Ball and Collins played a lot of time out there on the field, got a lot of reps. There were 81 plays on offense and so on. Yeah, it was 81 plays, but it only takes one bad play to get your quarterback killed. Sidearm Sally was trying to put in some work. Oh, yeah. Hey, look, I ain't mad at I tell you one thing about Ben DiNucci. And maybe it's because we're all third-string players and stuff, but the team responded behind Ben DiNucci. You could see them pick up the tempo. You know, they started going no huddle and stuff with them and things. And it seemed like they cared more about Ben DiNucci than they did Cooper Rush. I'm just saying that. It just seemed like they actually showed some signs of life. I'd rather take Alec Cohn. Should have brought in Baker Mayfield for a backup quarterback, Mark. Too expensive. We're talking about Catboy. They're not going to spend $14 million for a guy to be a backup. There you go, Game Changer 16. Any team you go to, the backup quarterback for more than a few games, they're going to be hurting. You're 100% right. Mayfield actually did not look bad in Carolina. He actually played a little bit better, and he's actually healed. Cowboys up north, what's up? We've seen what this team is like with. Oh yeah, we have seen it without Dak. The runs open pass keeps the defense from hurting your quarterback. There you go. To me, the key to the season is still going to be being able to run the football. And at least, as bad as everything seemed like it was with all the penalties and things, at least the Cowboys were able to run the football. And if we get Tony Pollard in there, we get Zeke in there, and we get our starting offensive line, and we're able to run the ball, play action will be deadly, and Dak will run the ball more. Giants are booty. Now, wait, hold up, Alex. Alex, don't talk about the Giants like that. I like Booty. Booty is good. I'm serious. Booty, find something else to call the Giant. I like Booty. Don't call the Giants Booty, because that shit is good. We've seen Mayfield in regular seasons, though. I don't know that last year was really Baker Mayfield. He was really injured a lot last year, so don't put it all on Baker Mayfield being that bad. I'm sorry. Forgive me, guys, on the cold. I'm gonna make it through though. Why not? Why are we spending $40 million for a backup quarterback? You know what, K-Swag? Are you new here, buddy? Are you new here? So, how many backup quarterbacks have you ever seen that have thrown 37 touchdown passes? I mean, let's be real here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, real hate, man, that's like an art form, man. You know, it's like, you're like a born hater, you know, like myself, man. You know, a lot of cats think they hate, but, man, I mean, I'm mad at everything, man. You know, brother got a nice car, man. Why you got a car, man? I only got one car. Why you got 3 cars or a wife or all that, man? That's played out, man. I hate on it till he's totally broke and ain't got nothing like me, you know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, that's what real hating is all about, man.
No, that's not the right list. You know, I want to say that, you know, I always hear this dink and dunk Dak. Dak's a backup. Dak sucks and this, that, and the other. But, you know, I did this last year. You know how many quarterbacks have thrown for 37 or more touchdowns in a season? Out of all of the years of football, all of them, I think it's only 19 different quarterbacks have thrown for 37 touchdowns in a season. So if you're telling me that Dak is one of those 19 guys in all of the history of all of the guys that have ever thrown the football in football is one of 19 to have done that accomplishment, how is he a backup quarterback? How is he a backup quarterback? I'm just saying. 37 touchdown passes. Romo never threw 37. Troy Aikman only had 1 year of over 20. You can go ahead and blame everything on Dak if you want to, if you're that small-minded. But take a look at every Dallas Cowboy team that was great. You can take Troy Aikman, you can take Roger Staubach, and you can look at that and you cannot say that that quarterback alone is the reason why you won the Super Bowl. You cannot. There is no way in hell, because both of those teams had generational running backs in Tony Dorsett and Emmitt Smith, the all-time leading running back, and had historically great defenses. The doomsday defense. And the number one defense for Troy Aikman. And here's how great Troy Aikman was. After winning the Super Bowl, the first two games of not having Emmitt Smith, they lost, even with Troy Aikman. If you really don't understand the game, don't just go by listening to ESPN that, oh, Dak sucks. Dak's a backup. Dak's not, he's not a top 15 quarterback, this, that, and the other. Then you're stupid. You are freaking stupid. You guys will be the same ones that say, well, Jimmy Garoppolo, he beat Aaron Rodgers. No, he didn't. He had 108 yards. That team beat the Green Bay Packers. That team kicked their ass. That team kicked ours. 14 penalties screwed up our operation. Drop passes. Yes, you'll focus in on, the quarterback sneak on the end. But what about all the other mistakes that were made throughout the game? Randy Gregory tackling a guy, which would have given us the ball with plenty of time on a short field. Don't be stupid. Don't be that jackass. And you know what? Life is too goddamn short, and my voice hurts too damn much to be answering stupid ass jackasses.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Damon Davis, you are 100% right, because you had Washington fans talking about how bad Carson Wentz is, right? Carson Wentz, man, that dude sucks. They embracing the hell out of him right now. And I guarantee you the Eagles would take Dak Prescott in a heartbeat. I guarantee Washington would take him in a heartbeat. Carolina would take him in a heartbeat. Man, get the hell out of here with that bullshit. You know what? Stop wasting my damn time. I don't know how much time I got left. Stop wasting mine. Get the fuck out of here. Give the big guy some love, man. Jeez. I would definitely take Dak as Hearts backup. Okay. It was so funny because today I literally thought I had overdosed on NyQuil, because I heard ESPN, NFL Network talking about, is Jalen Hurts an MVP candidate? Dude, he was 6 for 6 in a preseason game against the Jets. Seriously? Oh, Mark, Josh Garcia, Mark, I am pissed because the Joneses have done nothing to help this offense. Yeah, but of course, instead of people looking at that, they'll say, oh, well, Dak just sucks. We need to get rid of that. The funny thing, it kills me when people say, well, this is Dak's last chance, man. If he had to do it this year, we need to get rid of him. And I say, get rid of him for who? For who, please? Please tell me. Please tell me who you're going to get. Who? And here's the thing that's always crazy, because, I hate to say it, but some of our fans are just freaking idiots. They'll say, oh, man, well, let's go get Sean Payton, man. Man, screw this guy, Mike McCarthy. And I'm not going to say Mike McCarthy is the greatest coach in the world, but you know what? Take a look at this right here. Just take a look for a second. This is New Orleans. Last year, 9-8. They just missed the playoffs, okay? The year before, 12-4. They lost in the division round, right? 12-4. Lost in the division round. The year before, 13-3, lost to the wild card. They lost in the wild card just like we did last year. 13-3, lost in the conference final. 11-5, lost in the division round. And then take a look at the years before that. 7-9, 7-9, 7-9. So You're telling me that that's going to be immensely better than what we have at this moment? I'm just saying that they had a great defense throughout those last 4 years. They have a Hall of Fame quarterback in Drew, Hall of Fame quarterback. Great home field advantage, something we don't have. 12-4, 13-3, 13-3, 11-5, and he didn't make the Super Bowl. It's been longer for Sean Payton since Mike McCarthy at being in the Super Bowl. And to get him, you're going to have to give up at least 2 number ones. So are you willing to say Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb, potentially, we're going to give up for Sean Payton? Come on, man. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I don't think it is. Draft a quarterback because that always works, doesn't it? K-Swag, yes, draft a quarterback. It's just that easy. Dre Ross, how do you feel about 70 penalties will get right? Yeah, in 17 penalties, I don't care who your quarterback is. It's going to be hard to win. There are underlying problems that you're not dealing with. And you know what? If you could find a quarterback that would do better than Dak, I'd be all for it. But I don't see you finding a quarterback that's going to be doing better than what we have with the issues that we have. Tony Romo got Romo'd by the Cowboys. Never really had the defense consistently and the players around him to take care of him. It was either win or lose with his arm. When they finally realized we need a balanced attack, was too late in his career. But then we didn't have the defense to go along with the rushing attack. You know, at some point, you can't blame the quarterback when your defense can't stop the opposition from going down the field and scoring. You can't blame the quarterback when your defense can't stop the run in a guy like a Deebo Samuels. At some point, you have to realize, unless you're a freaking idiot, that it's more than just the quarterback. Yes, you have to have a really good or great quarterback, but that's not the be-all, end-all, because if that was the case, Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson would be winning it every year. And the last I checked, it's been over 10 years since Aaron Rodgers won it, and going on 10 years for Russell Wilson. You have to have a team to win the Super Bowl. Joe, you are 100% right. Your Dak is top 10 easy, and you're not going to get somebody without a lucky draft or paying a fortune. That is correct. But the average idiot out there doesn't understand that. Dallas just running tests against the referee. Pay attention until the regular season again, and we will have them learn. Well, I can say that they are trying, and it's not a matter of them not having officials. They've had officials at training camp at practice. Every day I was there 2 weeks ago, they had officials that were there, and they're throwing flags left and right, and they're explaining to the players exactly what they're doing. So it's not like the Cowboys aren't trying not to take care of that problem. They are. So what I need to do, I need to move on over. We need to do our drawing. My voice is I hate to get out of here at this time. We got so many people that are in here now. I guess because I was losing my mind thanks to freaking idiots that we have. We do have so many idiots. I need to go over so we can do our drawing for the night. And Dak is a top 10. Oh, okay. Jerry Jones doesn't care about the Super Bowl. He's just pimping the fan base every year. You know, there's a lot that can be said to that because in the end, he's making money hand over fist. He keeps coming up with all kinds of new businesses every other month. You got the number one fan base in the world. Hell, winning the Super Bowl might mess that up for all we know. Matt, imagine thinking Dak is barely top 15. Yeah. Don't worry. You know what's going to happen is the Eagles are going to go out and they're going to fall on their face. And all of these guys, all these trolls that have been here talking smack, they're going to go crawling back underneath the rock. Defense is only saving grace of this team. Mark, Eagles, Eagles, Eagles. Okay. All right. Let me switch spots here.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers?
I want the truth.
You can't Hurts.
handle the truth. Pass. Throws. Pick.
Bad throw.
Horrible pass.
Oh my God.
Stupid. 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 Stupid throw. Son of a bitch. What a bad throw. Stupid throw. Oh, stupid throw. Oh, stupid throw. Oh, stupid throw. Oh, stupid throw.
Well, here's what I think the plan would be. Is I actually think that they would end up having Dan Quinn become the head coach as opposed to getting somebody else. I honestly feel like Dan Quinn has so much sway with the Cowboys that what Dan Quinn wants, he gets. And Mike McCarthy seems to be like he's a little bit more hamstrung than anybody else. But, who knows? I can't say that I know what the Cowboys' plans are. The Cowboys are going to do what the Cowboys do, which is whatever they want to do. And nothing we can do about that. We can choose to root for another team or continue to go through what we're going through, which is the love-hate relationship. And I always put it like this. I love my wife. Oh, my God. I am so happy that I will spend the rest of my life with her. But it doesn't mean I love everything that she does. And she'll say the same thing. There's things that I do that she can't stand. And that's the same thing, that love-hate relationship that I have with the Cowboys. There's a lot of things that I hate. But I have been a Cowboy fan long before Jerry Jones. It's been born into my psyche. If you were to look over here at some of the cabinet of some of the stuff that I've had from being a child and things, the memorabilia and first images of growing up and sitting on the couch with my dad watching football, not understanding the game, but understanding my dad was a Cowboy fan and I wanted to be just like my dad. I can't just change and say, let me go to become a Washington Commanders fan or something like that. It just doesn't happen. So that's how it is for me, at least. And I can only hope and pray that maybe one of these years they get the stuff together and get it right. So let's get this party started here. All right, I'm going to dig in deep. And we'll give away one of the camp towels and a print. Let's see who our winner chicken dinner is. I'm just waiting for week 1, Tampa. Blue Virus, you're about as lucky as can be. You've won 2 times in a row now. All right, I'm going to pick another one as well because, damn. Good Lord. Reven S is the second winner. Reven S, email me so I can get your information and get it sent to you, okay? All right, so as you can tell, my voice has gone to shit here. My cough is coming back, and I'm going to be going crazy here. So get your shot glasses ready, everybody. All right, good people, get your shot glass together, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys, as well as you ladies, and keep the faith. And remember, stop hating so much. Life is too short, and you don't know how much time you have left. Spend it enjoying yourself. Peace out.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.